that Pteridophytes life cycle shows alternation of generation. So what is this alternation of generation? So here life cycle that includes both haploid stage as well as diploid multicellular stages. So what is this alternation of generation? What we can say here, a life cycle shows both the stages, haploid stage as well as diploid stage. So what is the meaning of haploid stage? Means here only n number will include, means the set of chromosomes will be single. But if I talk about the diploid stage, it means it will be in 2n numbers, means the set of chromosomes will be diploid. So how this life cycle takes place, let us discuss. So here I have taken that life cycle of fern. As earlier I told you that in Pteridophytes, mature plant body will be Sporophyte. So here the mature plant body is Sporophyte. So what would happen? As these are the sporophylls, means these are the leaves which called the sporophylls. So somewhere here the sporangium will be, it will consist the sporangium in this area. So here you can see the elaborated picture of this sporophyll. So this is nothing but a leaf of a single fern. So where these spores will be, you can see. So these is something at this place, the spores will be situated. Now if you see the sporangium, enlarged view of sporangium, so it will be something like this. So this is the sporangium. This is sporangium. Now what would happen? In this sporangium, meiosis will occur. So what is the meaning of meiosis? That is a reduction division where chromosome numbers changes into single C. So here the reduction division will take place and these sporangium will release the spore. Now mitosis will occur and the number of spores will be releases. So till here what we have seen, a mature sporophyte consists the spores that will be consist in the sporangium, and in here meiosis will occur and spores will be released. Now these spores will grow, these spores will germinate. What would happen? It will germinate and will form the young gametophyte. So what happens here? A mature sporophyte that includes the sporangium, here meiosis will occur and the spores will be releases. So here mitosis division will occur and when these spores comes out, they will again germinate and form the gametophyte. So here you can see the structure of young gametophyte. So this young gametophyte will again grow and will form the mature gametophyte. So students, if you see this mature gametophyte, it looks like a heart shape. So in a Pteridophytes, the mature gametophyte stage will be something like a heart shape and it will include antheridium, that is a male gamete, and a archegonium, that will be a female gamete. And if you see this structure, so this structure is also termed as prothallus. What is this? This is a prothallus. So what you can see, there is no any kind of differentiation and it includes both the gametes, male gamete as well as female gamete. So male gamete will call the antheridium and female gamete will call the archegonium. Now as it includes both the gametes, so what this is a bisexual stage, and this is, if I talk about this prothallus, it will be an independent and photosynthetic stage. Why? Because it is of green color and it will contain the chlorophyll. So because of that, it is, as it includes the chlorophyll, photosynthesis will take place and they can make their own food. So if I talk about the mature gamete, it will include male gamete as well as female gamete. Because of that, this stage will be a bisexual stage, and this is an independent and photosynthetic thallus. Now what would happen? As it includes both the gametes, so male gamete, like male structure, male reproductive part antheridium, that is a male gamete. So as we all know that male gamete, so what would happen here? It will releases a number of multiple gametes. But if I talk about egg, so it will be single and large. Now, till this stage, it is an haploid stage. So here what we can say, the life cycle from spore to mature gametophyte till it releases the male and female gamete, this stage in a haploid stage. Now, what would happen here? Fusion will take place. It means fertilization will occur. So what will happen? A male gamete and female gamete will fuse and will form a zygote. Now, if I talk about the zygote, this will be a diploid stage. How? Because here fusion will occur. Male and female gamete will fuse. So because of that, the fusion will occur and it will form a zygote. So this zygote will be a diploid stage. Now, this zygote will gradually grow to form a new sporophyte. So students, how male gamete will reaches to the female gamete? It means it needs some agent like air or water. So through air or water, the male gamete will reaches to the female gamete and fusion will occur at female gametophyte. Right? Because if I talk about the female gamete, it is archegonian and it is non-motile, whereas a male gamete will be motile. So it is a responsibility of male gamete to reach the female gamete. So male gamete will reach to a female gamete. So fusion will occur and zygote will form at the female gametophyte. Now, if you see the structure of this, so what is this? Now this zygote will gradually grow to form a sporophyte. So if you see, this is the structure of, this is a thallus-like structure. This is a female gametophyte. And here a development of new sporophyte will take place. So as I earlier told you that this stage will be an independent stage and photosynthetic stage. So what would happen? The sporophyte, that is a new sporophyte, will take its nutrition from the female gametophyte. Now, after some time, what would happen? As pteridophyte, the main plant body will be sporophyte. So what would happen? This is new sporophyte will changes to a mature sporophyte. So what would happen? After some time, you cannot see this female gametophytic stage and the main plant body will changes to a mature sporophyte. So this is the life cycle of fern, where we can see the alternation of generation. Like here both the stages means haploid stage as well as diploid stage. Both the stage will be multicellular stage and here both the stages will include in this life cycle. So mature sporophyte, here something like this is a sporophylls. As in pteridophytes, what do we say the leaves? It is a sporophyll. So these sporophyll contain the sporangium. Sporangium will releases the meiosis after that is a reduction division, and from that spores will be releases and this spore will be germinate and form the young gametophyte, and again after some time this will grow and form the mature gametophyte. So this stage is also termed as prothallus because we cannot see any differentiation of shoot, stem or. So this will be a mature gametophyte that will include both antheridium. So this structure will be an antheridium. So antheridium is a male gamete. Here both the gamete will be haploid and this one is a archegonium, that is a female gamete, and this stage will be photosynthetic stage, means it can survive on its own, it can make its own food. This is an independent stage, and when they get mature they will release the what? They will release the gamete, that will be antheridium and archegonium, and antheridium as it is motile and it will release it in multiple number and it will reach to the female gametophyte, and here the fusion will take place and will form the zygote, that will be a diploid stage, and this zygote will gradually grow to form a new sporophyte. So here what we can say, here a new sporophyte is dependent on the female gametophyte for its nutrition. Now after some time they will gradually grow and form the mature sporophyte. So this is all about the life cycle of pteridophytes. What we can say here, if I talk about the sporophyte, so it will be a multicellular stage and it is well differentiated. So what is the meaning of well differentiated? It means the body will be differentiated into stem, leaves and roots. Now other than this, it is a long-lived plant. So why do we say that mature sporophyte is like pteridophyte? A plant body will be mature sporophyte. Why? Because it is a long-lived stage. Now after that it will releases the sporangium, meiosis will occur, spore will be formed and young gametophyte will be formed. So young gametophyte will be a short-lived stage and it is a single cellular stage. So this is all about the life cycle of pteridophytes.
No more spending your energy and money on coaching classes or missing classes for rain, for rally, and any other nonsense. Subjects covered by multiple teachers with repeat telecasts. Doubts, concepts, applications, no problem. All explained through great and significant animation. So sit back comfortably in your home and watch Study Spectrum TV channel.
Shows the alternation of generation, means it produces two kinds of things. One is just haploid stage and another one is a diploid stage. So haploid stage will include the gametophyte and diploid will be a mature plant, that will be a sporophyte. So what differentiation what we have seen there? So what would be the main difference between the gametophyte and sporophyte? So let us start with the gametophyte. So here, if I talk about the gametophyte, as gameto means gamete, phyta means plant. So this plant will include the gametes. So here, gamete will be haploid, means the set of chromosomes will be single. So it will include, this will include the haploid stage, mostly photosynthetic. As what we have seen, that they are of thallus stage, they are of green color. So they can they are independent structure. They can make their own food. They can actually they can fulfill their own requirement. Next, it is also termed as prothallus. Means like that gametophyte stage is also known as prothallus. Other than this, they reproduces sexually. So students, what we have seen, if I talk about that prothallus structure, so male and female, both the gametes were present on the same plant, and how they will reproduce. So when it becomes a mature gametophyte, a male gamete, that is an antheridium, comes out through agent like water and or air and reaches to the female gamete. So male gamete will be smaller in size and in a multiple number, and it has to reach to the female gametophyte, that will be large and a single, and that will be called the archegonium. So it will reaches to the female gametophyte. So why they are called sexually? Because in sexual reproduction what happens? Male and female, both the gametes has to fuse together. So what we have seen in gametophytic phase, both male and female gametes fused and they form the zygote. So what we can say, that they reproduces sexually. Other than this, short-lived. So why do we say that they are recessive and the main plant body is sporophyte? Because gametophyte is a short-lived structure. Means they live for a short period of time, they fuse and they form the sporophyte. So it is all about the gametophyte. That's why the plant will be sporophyte. As if you recall about algae or bryophytes, there are like bryophytes where the plant body was gametophyte. Means there the mature plant body was gametophyte. But here a mature plant body will be sporophyte. So because of that, this stage will be a recessive stage. Now, if I talk about sporophyte, it will be diploid. Why? Because how the sporophyte will be formed? Because of the fusion of this male and female gamete. Now they will be independent. Why? Because what happens when they form this like new sporophyte form on the female gametophyte? What happens? It receives the nutrition from the female gametophyte, but after some time the whole plant changes to the sporophyte. That's why they will be independent. Now they reproduces asexually. So why do we say that they reproduces asexually? Because if you recall, on the plants of sporophyte, like the leaves are the sporophytes, where sporangium is present, that includes the spores. So spores, their meiosis will take place, and then spores will be released. So because of that, what do we say? That sporophytes reproduces asexually, and it is a long lived. That's why this is called the dominant stage. Why this is a dominant stage? Because it is a dominant long-lived stage. So this will be a dominant stage. So it is all about what is gametophyte and what is sporophyte. So here sporophyte will be a dominant stage in pteridophytes. Now, as here we have discussed about the life cycle of sporophyte. Now, here types of pteridophytes. So how do we divide pteridophytes? On the basis of spores they release. So what kind of spores they release? They can be released the homospores or a heterosporous. So they can be homosporous or the heterosporous. So what is the meaning of homosporous? Means producing only one type of spores. So here the spores will be released, that will be of single type, means only one type of spores will be released. So if I talk about this, here the spores will be homosporous spore will be present in the ferns, not in heterosporous. So here a type of spores will be released, that will be homosporous. The example will be ferns. Now if I talk about heterosporous, so what is that? As hetero means different, so here the type of spores will be present, that will be two different types of spores, microspores and a megaspores. So what are the microspores? It will be, micro means they will be small and they will release the male gametophyte. As earlier we have discussed, the male gametophyte will be smaller in size. So male gametophyte will release the male gamete, right? So now again they also release the megaspores. Mega means the spores will be larger in size, and as they will be a female gametophyte and will release the female gametes. What they will release? They will release the female gamete. So here example will be Selaginella and Salvinia. Examples will be Selaginella and Salvinia. Now, so how do we divide the pteridophytes? On the basis of spores they produce. So they can, some of the pteridophytes will release the homospores, and some of the pteridophytes will release the heterospores. So homospores means the spores are of same type of spores they will release. So example can be fern. Now if I talk about heterosporous, hetero means different. So there are many pteridophytes, they will release a different types of spores. It can be a microspore or megaspore. So microspores means a small, so these will be the male gamete. It will release on the male gametophyte and they will release the male gamete. And if I talk about megaspores, it will be large and will release the female gametophyte, and it will germinate into female gametophyte and will form the female gametes. So example will be Selaginella and Salvinia. So this is the how pteridophytes are divided on the basis of spores they produce. So students, as earlier we have discussed about the reproduction or life cycle of pteridophytes, like they can how do they reproduce sexually, like that is they shows alternation of generation, means So here we are going to start with the apogamy. Actually these methods are apogamy and apospory. So here I am going to start with apogamy. So what I have written, development of the sporophyte without the fusion of male and female gamete. So what happens here, as if you recall about the life cycle of Pteridophyte, so what we have seen, that spores are released and then young gametophyte forms, then it grows to mature gametophyte, and after that they releases the gametes and they fuse and they form the zygote, and then that zygote gradually develop to the mature sporophyte. But what happens here? Here without the fusion of male and female gamete, means here fertilization will not occur. So because of that, what we can say, as what happens with fertilization, the zygote will forms and that zygote will be diploid in nature, because their fusion of male and female gamete will take place. But in this case what happens, fusion of male and female gamete will not take place. So because of that, as we all know that sporophyte is the main plant body in Pteridophytes. So here what would happen? This sporophyte will be haploid in nature. Why? Because here fusion of male and female gamete will not take place. Now the next method is apospory. So what happens in apospory? Development of the gametophyte from any cell of the sporophyte other than the spores. So what are these sporophytes? These are the mature plant. This is the mature plant. So if it is a mature plant, it will be diploid in nature because it made up with the fusion of male and female gamete. So what happens here? What it is saying, that development of the gametophyte from any cell of the sporophyte, means already cells will be diploid in nature other than the spores. So that's why the gametophyte will be diploid. Here it will be diploid in nature. As earlier, if you recall, the gametophyte was multicellular but it was haploid in nature. So what happens in the apospory? Here, if there are many higher cryptograms, what happens there? The production of prothallus. What happens? How the prothallus formed? Immediately from the sporangium. Means their spores will not form without the ordinary intervention of spore from leaf itself. Means, like we know that the leaf is like something like that, and this leaf is the sporophyte. So here sporangium will be present. So directly from the sporangium, gametophyte will be formed, or that prothallus structure will be formed. So because of that, as their meiosis or the spores formation will not take place, and the gametophyte will directly formed by the sporangia. So that's why this gametophyte will be diploid in nature. So this is other than the so this is a different method other than the sexual alternation of generation. So if I talk about apogamy, what happens? Sporophyte formed without the fusion of male and female gamete. So because of that, the sporophyte will be haploid in nature. It is opposite, as what we have seen there, sporophyte was diploid. And in apospory, what happens? The gametophyte, that prothallus will form directly from the some other cell of sporophyte. So here gametophyte will be diploid in nature. So if you recall that life cycle, there gametophyte was diploid in nature and sporophyte was diploid in nature. But here it is opposite. Sporophyte is haploid and gametophyte is diploid in nature. So this is all about how other life cycle, how the pteridophytes will be reproduced. So students, now we are ended with the division pteridophytes. So what are the structure of that pteridophytes? How they are more advanced than the bryophytes, as they have a well differentiated body, means the body was divided into stem, roots and leaves. Other than what we have seen, that they are in pteridophytes, well developed